You open your computer. You are ready for your 10-hour session of studying. You feel so ready for this, man. And after grinding for an hour or so, you kind of feel tired. You get a notification on your phone and the minutes turn into hours, and then you find yourself in a horrible rut for days. How do these people like athletes, sculptors and writers work on their craft and focus for so long and never get tired? In this video, I will share how to realistically take yourself from scrapping a few hours here and there of studying every day to studying for days comfortably. The first point I want to talk about is blueprint. Can you build a house without a blueprint? If you very superficially say, I want to build a house with these resources, without any plan, without any structure, how are you going to achieve that? You have to have a blueprint. So you can't just wake up one day and decide to study for 10 hours and then say, why isn't it working for me? I used to do that. I used to wake up, oh, let's study for 10 hours. Never worked, did it? No. Why? Because neither did I know what I was studying, how much I was studying, or where I was studying. I would just be like, yeah, we'll see what happens. How can you build focus? How can you build discipline with that kind of mindset? In order to have this blueprint, you can do two things. One is the one that we all know, the meticulous planning, where you take, for example, from this hour to this hour, 8 to 10, I'm gonna do this, from 12 to 12. It's very strict. Simple, it's effective, and that's what works for me. But there's also another thing that you can use, and I termed it probation. Okay, bear with me. It's called that because you still have to do what you set out to achieve, but you are not bound by strict time frames. So you can say, I'm going to study lecture 1 and 2, I'm going to go to the gym in the afternoon, I know what I'm going to study, this is where I'm probably going to study this, so on and so forth. And you still have to serve your sentence, if you will, but you have more flexibility. So always think about your blueprint for tomorrow. The next point I want to talk about, your phone. This is common sense. Everyone knows it, right? Wrong. Put it in a cabinet, put it in your bag, put it on do not disturb, do anything, just put it away from you, okay? Do something with it. Just don't keep it in front of you when you study. Well, why am I saying this? Why is having your phone next to you such a big deal? When you take a breather from studying and dive into your phone, even for 5 minutes, that dopamine rush is massive for your brain. So when it's time to get back to the grind, guess what? The dopamine high crashes down. It's like trying to switch gears from party to library. No wonder it's a struggle to put your phone down and go back to work. The worst part about all of this is we do this consistently. So it's not what you're switching gears one time, you're switching gears maybe 6 or 7 times in every lesson. Our brains work in a simple way. If you see it, you will remember it. If you don't see it, you will forget it. Third point, to truly embrace flow and embrace its power, you have to optimize your environment. This is so important. If you want to take something from this whole video, take this one. Picture this. Your surroundings, the things that you see and the things that you hear all play a massive role in your focus. So let's dive into enhancing what you hear in your environment. Here, how can I control what I hear in my environment? I'll tell you. So I was someone where no matter where they sat in public, they could never focus. Every conversation, just, see someone walking, I would look at them but then I stumbled upon a stroke of genius on YouTube. Some brilliant minds took popular piano pieces like Interstellar, added layers of reverb and some mystical instruments, and kept looping it over and over again. And the result? A masterpiece. Welcome to your new world. It transformed any study space I was in to a realm of undisrupted focus. All the distractions, all the noise, all the shouting, all of that is irrelevant. When you put your headphones, you put those sounds on, it completely changes your focus. I've linked 3 videos of my favorites in the description, so you can try it and see how it goes. That's the first thing in the scene. The second thing in the scene is what you see. Picture it with me. The smell of a freshly made cup of coffee next to you, occasional readers, and dimmed lights in the evening. These things make it so much better and easier for you to study. If you are someone who gets bored very easily, you can change the environment every couple of hours. So 3 hours you study here, 3 hours you study here, 3 hours you study here. And you can go back and forth between 2 different locations. That's what I do. So I start my day at home, and then I go to a cafe, and then I come back at home. So that's, you can say, 3 different locations because my mind is not getting used to it. So focus on your scene in terms of what you hear and what you see, and it will do wonders for your focus. Finally, on to the 4th point. Even if you do all the things I mentioned and you still mess up this one, you will struggle. Your studying method. If you are aiming for laser focused attention over 10-hour lecture sessions, just listening and taking notes, you're gonna struggle. Because sitting through lectures and taking notes is as fun as watching paint dry. Passive, it's dull, and it's a recipe for mental burnout. Because listening and taking notes is a passive process. It's not fun for your brain at all to just take information consistently, because it will block new information. Rather than chaining yourself to a chair, enduring a lecture marathon until you feel like a zombie, mix things up a bit. What you want to do is you want to do something that stimulates your brain. How can studying at all stimulate my brain? It can, when you make it an active process. Try practicing some mock tests if you can find them. Or here's a better trick: get a piece of paper and draw everything that you know about this topic, explaining it to an imaginary friend next to you. It is amazing. It does wonders because you are actively thinking, okay, how does this thing link to that? Okay, what is this? Why should I care about this topic in the first place? Because this, and that. Okay, so it has a role, it has a purpose. Please stop force feeding your brain carrots for 10 hours and then saying, why am I not focusing? Mix things up, add some zest into your learning regimen. Watch how your focus on understanding completely transforms. And that wraps up our video, guys. I really hope you take some of these tips and you apply them, because they can really change the way you study. And as always, Assalamu alaikum.